The United States cannabis industry is projected to exceed $20 billion by the year 2020. This is an internal proposal for Privateer Holdings Incorporated. I'm Guya DePew, and I have created this proposal for Professor Melissa Schumann's Project and Portfolio course at Full Sail University. In this proposal, I will talk a little about who and what Privateer Holdings Incorporated is. Then I will go over the cannabis industry as it relates to our business needs, and give you a customer and competitor analysis. After that, I'm going to identify a couple of business needs that I've come up with, followed by an effective solution to those needs. And then I'll finish up with a timeline and projected costs for implementing this plan. So, thank you for joining me, and let's get to it. Privateer Holdings is a private equity firm that invests solely in the legal cannabis space. Our mission is to elevate the industry and dispel the stoner stigma that has surrounded cannabis in the past by exuding professionalism and sophistication. In 2016, we became the first company to raise over $100 million for cannabis startups, and we strive to represent only the best in the industry. We have a well-rounded portfolio of leading companies in the cannabis space that includes Leafly, the world's leading cannabis-related website and mobile application, Tilray, which is the only American-owned, federally licensed commercial producer of medical cannabis in the world, and Marley Natural, the official brand of Bob Marley and the Marley family that sells cannabis and cannabis-related products. Privateer has worked extremely hard to acquire companies that we believe represent our vision of building a portfolio of global brands that will lead, legitimize, and define the future of cannabis. The United States cannabis industry is projected to exceed $20 billion by the year 2020. It grew by almost 30% in 2016 alone, which, to put into perspective, that means it's growing larger and faster than the dot-com era of the 1990s. This green rush, as many are calling it, is due mostly to the legalization that is happening in states all over the U.S., and at least 6 more states are expected to legalize cannabis in 2017. As more states move towards legalization, new products, technologies, apps, and software will be created, new services and retail outlets will be available, and many new investors and businesses will join the game. And that just really opens up a world of unlimited potential for business opportunities in the cannabis space. The only 2 things standing in the way, the only true threats we have to the future of the industry, are the public perception of cannabis, which is rapidly changing for the better, and of course, politics and prohibition. Because as of this moment, cannabis is still considered an illegal substance according to the United States federal laws. But even that's expected to change in the coming years as national legalization advances. And the truth is, the cannabis industry has already grown so extensively that it would be next to impossible to stop its progression. The customer demographics of people who invest in our private equity firm vary greatly from company to company, depending on the industries they represent. These consumers and business owners are men and women whose ages range anywhere from 25 to 75 years old. Some of them are veterans of the cannabis industry and have been involved already, and some are newcomers who want to get involved. We have ranchers, cultivators, small business owners, mom and pop retailers, family-owned companies that include more than one generation, along with companies and individuals worth millions, even billions, who can't wait to jump in. In fact, according to Jeremy Burke at Business Insider, 47% of active investors in the cannabis space plan on sinking $10 million or more into the private cannabis companies this year. There are so many people lining up to invest in the cannabis industry that there aren't even enough firms like ours to take them all in yet. That's not to say that we don't have competition. Privateer Holdings may have been the first private equity firm to focus only on cannabis companies, but we are definitely not lone rangers. There are almost 200 investment firms that offer services like ours throughout the United States. But some of our more well-known competitors are Seventh Point out of Los Angeles, Trace Capital, based in New York, and Poseidon Asset Management, headquartered in San Francisco. Although none of these firms have come close to raising as much money as we have. And that's because Privateer Holdings has the unique selling point of being trusted and respected pioneers and leaders in the cannabis industry. Now, as I mentioned before, one of the only pain points for our investors and consumers is the public perception of cannabis and companies doing business in the cannabis industry. Our firm's mission is to change that negative perception and elevate customer expectations. The other pain point mentioned is politics and prohibition. Even though cannabis is not legal federally yet, it is legal in 26 states and the District of Columbia and Puerto Rico. That's more than half the U.S. The bottom line is, our investors and consumers need to feel safe investing with us, and we need to make them feel safer. And I have a multi-tiered plan to do just that. One way Privateer Holdings can give our consumers that feeling of safety is by landing big brand investors that they're familiar with. Familiarity helps consumers feel more comfortable and makes us more trustworthy in their eyes. Now, as you all know, one of our biggest investors is Peter Thiel, who founded PayPal, and that relationship boosted our credibility immensely. So, building on that, I propose we pitch to Google and their investment firm, Capital G, and gain the software giants as investors. Okay, I know that might sound like an impossible feat. However, John Lord, who is the CEO of one of the largest cannabis retail chains in the country, LiveWell Enlightened Health, recently disclosed while speaking at an event that Google has expressed interest in the cannabis industry and has been putting out feelers for investing in it, which is why I believe that acting now and starting the wooing process with Google will help bring this plan into fruition. The next part of this plan is to give our investors the secure feeling they need to do business with our firm. We could do that by acquiring the leading seed-to-sale tracking software company, Biotech THC. In 2016, Biotech received the Marijuana Industry Award for Software Tech Company of the Year at the Marijuana Investor Summit. There are a few reasons I know that having this company in our portfolio would be beneficial for our needs and the needs of our consumers. The main reason is because Biotech THC currently has the most government contracts in the seed-to-sale software sector of cannabis space. And nothing makes people investing in the cannabis industry feel safer than government approval and compliance. Another benefit of bringing Biotech into our portfolio is opportunity and potential. As I talked about before, cannabis is legal either medically or recreationally in more than half of the states in America. And when we acquire Biotech THC, we will have ample opportunity to bid for more government contracts for the seed-to-sale software in those states. On top of that, with 6 more states set to legalize in the coming year, there's even greater potential for winning some or all of those government contracts as well. I know that bringing in Google and Biotech THC to cover both sides of what we do here at Privateer will advance our goal of building a portfolio of global brands that will lead, legitimize, and define the future of cannabis. The success of this plan will improve our brand, our reputation, and our credibility, while simultaneously making our company and its investors a lot of money. The most important questions you're asking yourselves right now are when, how long, and how much. The short answers are now, not that long, and a whole lot. But let me elaborate. When should we begin this project? The answer is now. With how rapidly the cannabis industry is growing, the best time to implement this plan is as soon as possible. I propose we set a start date for May 1st of this year. It will take at least 6 months to finalize an investment from Google, depending on how receptive they are and how much work we need to put in to seal the deal. And acquiring Biotech THC will take approximately 1 year, and then it will take about another year to year and a half to put in the bids and win government contracts in existing legal cannabis states, and about 2 years to win contracts in states that will be legalizing this year. So, about 5 years, and that's a relatively fast timeline for this kind of return on investment. Now, let's talk money. The cost of acquiring Biotech THC will be around $50 million. However, landing Google's investment firm, Capital G, will give us the capital we need to cover the acquisition. When we succeed, this plan will potentially make Privateer Holdings $40 million a year, plus somewhere around $160,000 for each government contract awarded to Biotech THC. And those numbers do not include any additional funding by Google or money made through new investors we gain from the success of this project. For these reasons, and for all the reasons I have laid out for you here today, we at Privateer Holdings Incorporated need to act now and set this plan into motion so we don't miss out on this incredible opportunity to advance as leaders in the private equity sector of the global cannabis space. and because the United States cannabis industry is projected to exceed $20 billion by the year 2020. And Privateer Holdings intends to hold the most enviable position in the market. So, my name is Guaya DePew, and I want to thank you for hearing my proposal, and I look forward to working on this exciting new project with all of you.